The biggest mistake people make isn't trying and failing. It's living the same year again and calling it a life. Let that line sit with you for a second, because somewhere deep down, you know it's true. Most people aren't stuck because they don't have dreams. They're stuck because they've stopped acting on them. Every day feels predictable. The same habits, the same talk, the same thoughts. And slowly, that sameness starts to feel normal. You tell yourself, it's fine, but it's not fine. You're just getting used to settling. You felt that quiet pull inside, the one that says you're capable of more. But then fear shows up, doubt shows up, and you shrink back into what feels safe. You convince yourself that staying where you are is smart, but deep down, you know it's costing you something. It's costing you excitement. It's costing you purpose. It's costing you time you'll never get back. This message isn't here to hype you up for a few minutes. It's here to wake you up. Because there's a version of you that's been waiting to show up. But that version can't live inside the same routine. You don't need luck. You don't need permission. You need a decision. The decision to stop repeating the same story and start writing a better one. So if you've been feeling like life's on pause, if you've been saying, I'll change later, this is for you. This is your reminder that later doesn't exist. There's only now. And the moment you choose growth over comfort, everything starts to move again. Stay right here, because what comes next might just be the shift you've been waiting for. Number 1, change your habits now, or life will quietly leave you behind. Most people don't realize how quietly time passes until one day they look back and wonder what happened to their dreams. They didn't fail because they made the wrong move. They failed because they made no move at all. Life doesn't shout when it passes you by. It doesn't warn you with signs or alarms. It just moves on. And if you're not growing, it leaves you behind. Every single day that you live the same way, think the same thoughts, and follow the same patterns, you make a choice. You choose to stay exactly where you are. And that's the most dangerous risk you can take, because while you stay the same, the world doesn't. The world keeps changing. Opportunities keep moving. People keep growing. And you keep wondering why nothing new ever happens. That's what happens when you protect your comfort more than your progress. When you wake up every morning and do the same things, you build habits that decide your future long before you do. If those habits don't serve your growth, they slowly work against you. You may not notice it today. You might even feel okay with it right now. But one day, you'll feel the gap. The gap between where you could have been and where you actually are. And that's a pain that doesn't go away easily. Change doesn't start with big decisions. It starts with small, quiet moments when you realize something in your life isn't right anymore. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your relationships or your money. But something deep inside says, this can't be it. That's the beginning of change. The real question is, what do you do next? Do you listen to that voice? Or do you silence it with distractions and excuses? Some people say they want a better life, but they keep feeding the same routines that built the one they have now. You can't create new results with old behaviors. You can't ask for more while doing less. The truth is simple. Your habits are either pulling you closer to your goals or pushing you further away from them. There's no middle ground. Every action counts. Every decision shapes who you become. You don't have to change everything at once. That's where most people give up. They think transformation means tearing their life apart overnight. No, it means being honest about what's not working and taking responsibility for it. If you spend 2 hours a day scrolling on your phone, that's 2 hours that could have been invested in learning, planning, building, or resting with purpose. If you start your day complaining, your mind stays stuck in what's wrong instead of what's possible. These little habits, repeated daily, are what decide whether your life moves forward or stands still. When I talk about change, I'm not talking about chasing success for the sake of it. I'm talking about respecting your own potential. You were given skills, ideas, and strength for a reason. If you ignore them, you disrespect yourself. Growth is not about being better than others. It's about refusing to waste what you've been given. The person who stays the same is not safe. They're stuck. They're losing time. And time is the one thing you don't get back. Think about how many times you've said, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow sounds like a small delay, but it's the birthplace of regret. Tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year, and before you know it, you've built a life full of postponed dreams. The danger is not in failing. The danger is in never starting. You can recover from a mistake, but you can't recover from years of inaction. People often wait for motivation to appear before they act. But motivation doesn't show up until after you start. Change doesn't begin with inspiration. It begins with decision. You decide that your old ways no longer fit the person you want to become. You decide that the pain of staying the same is heavier than the discomfort of change. That's the moment everything begins to shift. You'll have people around you who don't understand why you're changing. They'll say, "You've changed," and they'll mean it as a bad thing. But that's a sign you're moving. When people who are stuck feel uncomfortable around your progress, it means you're breaking the pattern they couldn't. Don't let their comfort convince you to stay small. Change is not easy. It's not supposed to be. Growth costs energy, time, and effort. You'll feel uncertain, tired, maybe even scared. But those feelings are proof that you're alive and evolving. You should worry if you feel nothing, because that means you've stopped trying. Progress has a price, but so does staying the same. The difference is, one leads to growth, and the other leads to regret. Look at your life right now. Be honest with yourself. What's one habit that's holding you back? Is it your laziness in the morning, your lack of focus, your negative thinking, or your fear of failure? Name it. Face it. Because what you don't confront, you accept. And what you accept, you repeat. Once you identify the habit, replace it with something better, something that aligns with who you want to become. That's how real change happens, through awareness and replacement, not just wishful thinking. Some people say, "I don't know where to start." Start anywhere. The direction matters more than the speed. Read for 10 minutes instead of watching meaningless videos. Walk for 15 minutes instead of sitting for hours. Speak kindly to yourself instead of doubting your worth. It doesn't sound like much today, but stack those small actions over time, and your life begins to shift. Don't wait for a crisis to force you to change. People often change only when they're hurt or desperate. They wait for pain to wake them up. But smart people choose change before life demands it. You can decide to change from vision, not just from suffering. You don't need a breakdown to build a better life. The reason change feels hard is because your brain loves patterns. It wants what's familiar, even if that familiar thing is hurting you. But once you understand that, you stop fighting your feelings and start managing them. You remind yourself that discomfort is part of the deal. You don't quit because it's hard. You push through because it matters. Every successful person you admire made one simple decision. They refused to stay the same. They faced fear, doubt, and failure, but they kept moving. The people who never reach their potential aren't missing talent. They're missing the courage to change. You can have dreams, skills, and opportunities. But if you never change your habits, you'll never live the life you imagine. Life rewards progress, not comfort. The more you grow, the more doors open. The more you stay the same, the more doors close quietly. Sometimes you won't even notice them closing until it's too late. That's why the greatest risk isn't taking a chance, it's refusing to. Staying the same may feel safe today, but it costs your future. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what sounds nice, not what others expect. What do you truly want your life to look like? Then look at your daily actions and ask if they match that vision. If they don't, start changing them. Slowly, intentionally, but consistently. Because every small shift today becomes a massive difference a year from now. The truth is, life doesn't wait for anyone. If you don't move forward, life moves on without you. You don't need permission to change. You don't need perfect timing. You just need the courage to start. Every great story begins when someone decides they're done staying the same. You can keep repeating old habits and live the same year over and over, or you can decide right now that you deserve more. Change your habits now, because life won't pause for your hesitation. It will keep moving. The question is, will you move with it? Number 2, Stop clinging to the same story that keeps you unhappy. Every person carries a story about who they are, what they've been through, and what they believe they can or cannot do. But sometimes that story is no longer true. It was written during a time when you were hurt, lost, or afraid. And yet, years later, you keep telling the same story, holding onto it like proof of who you are. That story might have been your truth once, but now it's become your cage. The hardest part of growth isn't learning something new, it's unlearning the story that keeps you where you are. When you keep repeating the same story of how things went wrong, how someone failed you, or how you missed your chance, you don't just remember it, you relive it. You give it power over your present. Every time you tell it, it grows stronger, and it starts shaping how you see yourself today. You begin to think, this is who I am, but it's not who you are, it's who you were. And there's a difference. Who you were doesn't have to define who you become. People often hold on to painful stories because it gives them a reason for their unhappiness. It explains why they feel stuck. It justifies why they're not where they want to be. The story becomes a shield that protects them from facing change. Because if the story is the reason, then they don't have to take responsibility. They can blame the past. But the truth is, the past is over. It's done. What's keeping you unhappy is not the event. It's your attachment to the story you built around it. You can't heal while you keep defending your pain. You can't move forward while you keep explaining why you can't. If you want to grow, you have to stop clinging to the story that says you're broken, unlucky, or not enough. You have to face the truth that you've told this story so many times. You've started to believe it's the only version of you that exists. But there's another version of you waiting on the other side of honesty. The version that stops saying, this is just who I am, and starts saying, this is who I choose to be. Think about it. How often do you use your past as proof that you can't change? Maybe you tell yourself you're bad with money because of how you grew up. Or you believe you can't have healthy relationships because someone betrayed you. Or you've convinced yourself that success isn't meant for you because you failed before. These are stories, familiar ones. And while they might feel real, they're only real because you keep choosing to make them so. Change starts when you stop identifying with your old story. That story doesn't need to disappear, it just needs to lose control. You can acknowledge what happened without allowing it to decide what happens next. You can accept your past without living inside it. The people who grow aren't the ones who had perfect lives. Many people think their story gives them identity. They say, this is my background, this is my struggle, this is my truth. But your truth can evolve. Your background doesn't have to be your barrier. You can respect your history without letting it decide your destiny. The strongest people are not those who forget their pain, but those who no longer let it define them. When you stop clinging to the old story, you make room for a new one. And that new story begins when you ask yourself honest questions. What if my pain isn't who I am? What if my mistakes were lessons instead of limits? What if I've been repeating an old script when life has been waiting for me to write a new one? Those questions open doors that you didn't even know were locked. Sometimes, people cling to an unhappy story because they're afraid of who they'd be without it. The story gives them identity, attention, and even sympathy. But deep down, it also gives them an excuse not to change. Because if the story is gone, then it's just them and their choices. That's hard to face, but it's also where freedom begins. Once you realize you can rewrite your story, you start to see that you've always had power. You just never used it. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. You've seen more, felt more, and learned more. Yet you still talk about your life as if you're trapped in an old chapter. Imagine reading the same sad chapter of a book every day while the rest of the pages remain untouched. That's what many people do with their lives. They stop turning pages. They keep rereading the part that hurt them. Then they wonder why the ending never changes. You can't build a better future while holding on to an old identity. If you keep saying, I'm just like this, you'll never know who else you could be. Growth demands that you challenge your own beliefs about yourself. If you believe you're not smart enough, work to learn. If you believe you're unlucky, start preparing for opportunities instead of waiting for them. If you believe you're not lovable, start treating yourself with the kindness you expect from others. Every time you act against your old story, you weaken its grip. Stop using your past as a reason to stop trying. You've already survived the worst of it. The pain you went through was not a sentence, it was a signal. It was meant to teach you, not trap you. You can't go back and rewrite what happened, but you can decide what it means. That's where your power is, not in changing the event, but in changing the meaning you give it. If you grew up being told you wouldn't make it, prove them wrong. If someone broke your trust, build it again with yourself first. If life knocked you down, stand up, not because it's easy, but because you're tired of staying down. The past does not get the final say unless you hand it the microphone. Happiness doesn't come from pretending the past didn't happen. It comes from deciding it no longer runs your life. You can forgive without forgetting. You can accept without settling. You can move forward without needing everything to make sense. The goal isn't to erase the old story. It's to outgrow it. Ask yourself right now, what story do I keep repeating that no longer fits the person I want to be? Maybe it's I'm not ready. Maybe it's I always get hurt. Maybe it's I can't change. Then ask yourself a harder question. What would my life look like if I stopped believing that story today? That question alone can change everything. There's freedom in realizing you are not bound by who you used to be. You can be a different person next month, next year, even tomorrow. But it starts with refusing to drag yesterday's story into today's opportunity. You can build new habits, new beliefs, new relationships, and a new direction, but not while you're still defending the old one. So today, stop clinging to the same story that keeps you unhappy. Stop giving energy to the words and beliefs that no longer serve you. You don't have to erase your past, you just have to stop living inside it. You deserve a new chapter, one written with clarity, strength, and self-respect. You owe it to yourself to stop being loyal to a version of you that no longer exists. Your story isn't finished. It's waiting for you to write again. And this time, it can be the one where you decide to move on, take control, and finally live with peace. Because the greatest risk is not changing your past. It's letting your past keep deciding your future. Number 3, challenge the person you were yesterday, or lose your future. Every morning when you wake up, you meet 2 people, the person you were yesterday and the person you have the chance to become today. One is familiar, comfortable, and predictable. The other is unknown, challenging, and full of potential. The real test of life is deciding which one you'll follow. Because if you keep living like the person you were yesterday, you slowly lose the person you could become tomorrow. Growth isn't about competing with others. It's about refusing to stay smaller than your own potential. Most people wake up and repeat the same day they lived before. They think the same thoughts, follow the same patterns, react to life in the same way. They don't notice it happening because routine feels safe. But over time, that safety becomes the very thing that holds them back. You can't expect a new future if you're living on yesterday's level of effort, mindset, and belief. Your future demands a stronger version of you, and that version doesn't appear by accident. It's built through daily challenge. Challenging yourself doesn't mean chasing perfection. It means refusing to settle for the version of you that's comfortable with excuses. Yesterday's attitude won't solve today's problems. Yesterday's habits won't open tomorrow's doors. Life keeps asking for a better version of you, and every day you get to answer with action or avoidance. When you choose growth, you build a future that feels earned. When you choose comfort, you lose your future one small decision at a time. Take a moment to think about the person you were yesterday. What did they think about most? What did they avoid? How did they handle challenges? That person got you this far, and you should thank them for it. But they can't take you any further. To reach the next level of your life, you have to be willing to outgrow the version of yourself that made you feel safe. Every goal you want demands a sacrifice. The sacrifice of your old limits. You can't grow if you're always protecting your old identity. If you tell yourself this is just how I am, you close the door on who you could be. Change isn't about rejecting yourself. It's about upgrading yourself. The person you were yesterday might have been scared, lazy, distracted, or doubtful. That's okay. What's not okay is staying that way when you know better now. Once you know better, you owe it to yourself to do better. Some people say they want to change, but they keep defending their old habits. They'll say things like, "I've always been like this," or "It's just my nature." But that's not truth. That's a shield. It's a way to avoid the hard work of self-improvement. The truth is, you can change anything about yourself when you decide that staying the same costs too much. Every bad habit is learned, which means it can be unlearned. Every weakness can be strengthened. Every limitation can be replaced with discipline and effort. Think about your mindset. How often do you question your own thinking? Most people never do. They run on mental autopilot. But if you never challenge your thoughts, you never change your life. The same mindset that created your struggles cannot create your breakthrough. You have to interrupt the patterns that keep you average. When fear says, "You can't do it," challenge it by trying anyway. When doubt says, "You'll fail," challenge it by taking one more step. Growth isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move despite it. Every single day gives you a new test. The test isn't written on paper, it's written in your choices. Will you choose what's easy or what's necessary? Will you feed your excuses or your effort? Will you give in to distractions or stay focused on your goals? These small, invisible choices decide your future more than any big event ever will. People lose their future not because they made one huge mistake, but because they repeated small, lazy decisions until they became a lifestyle. Your greatest competition isn't other people, it's your comfort, your doubt, and your habits. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you win a small battle. And those small battles build momentum. The person you were yesterday might quit early, might complain, might take shortcuts. The person you are becoming stays a little longer, works a little harder, and believes a little stronger. That's how change happens. Through quiet, consistent defiance of your old self. Growth will never feel convenient. It will stretch you, frustrate you, and make you question your limits. But those moments are signs that you're alive and moving forward. The pain of challenge is temporary. The pain of regret lasts far longer. You can either face discomfort now or regret later. You can't avoid both. So choose the one that builds you. Choose to challenge who you were instead of protecting who you've been. Ask yourself, what part of your old self is standing in your way right now? Maybe it's your fear of failure. Maybe it's your laziness. Maybe it's your attitude toward people or your lack of discipline. Whatever it is, face it directly. Don't hide from it. Call it out and work on it. You can't improve what you refuse to confront. Every day is a chance to confront one weakness and replace it with strength. Start small if you have to. Wake up earlier than your excuse. Do the work before your motivation shows up. Speak kindly when your old self wants to react. Finish what you start when the easier option is to quit. These small victories may not seem like much today, but they change everything over time. You don't build confidence by talking about change. You build it by showing yourself that you can do hard things. When you look back in 6 months or a year, you should barely recognize the person you are today. That's the goal. Too many people pride themselves on being the same year after year, as if consistency means progress. But staying the same isn't strength, it's stagnation. You should aim to grow so much that your old self would be proud and surprised by who you've become. That's not arrogance, that's evolution. Don't wait for life to force you to change. Growth should be a choice, not a reaction. Don't wait until you lose opportunities, relationships, or time before you decide to improve. You don't need a crisis to start growing. You just need honesty. Be honest enough to admit that yesterday's version of you can't build tomorrow's success. The life you want requires a different level of thinking, effort, and commitment. And it's your job to rise to that level, not wait for it to come down to you. You might fail along the way. You might fall short. That's part of the process. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be better than you were yesterday. The moment you stop challenging yourself, you start declining. Nothing in life stays still. You're either moving forward or falling behind. Even if you grow just 1% every day, you'll be unrecognizable in a year. That's how powerful consistent self-challenge is. Every night, before you sleep, ask yourself one simple question. Did I do something today that my old self wouldn't have done? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. That's how progress looks. Small wins stack day after day. You don't need massive leaps. You just need consistent movement. The key is to never go to bed being the same person you woke up as. Challenging who you were yesterday is about responsibility. It's about saying, I'm in charge of my own evolution. Nobody can do it for you.
People can guide you, inspire you, or push you. But the real fight happens inside your mind. Every time you silence a negative thought, every time you make a disciplined choice, you're building your future brick by brick. You have more potential than you've used. You have strength that's been sleeping inside you, waiting for a reason to wake up. The moment you challenge your limits, you meet the parts of yourself you've never seen. You begin to realize that most of your fears were exaggerations, and most of your limits were self-made. That realization alone can change your entire direction. There's a version of you that you haven't met yet. A version that's stronger, calmer, wiser, and more capable. That person is built through the daily decision to challenge who you were yesterday. Every morning, you stand at a crossroads. Repeat or evolve. You can repeat your old patterns and keep your old life, or you can evolve into someone who demands more from themselves. The choice is always yours. So challenge the person you were yesterday. Demand more from your thoughts, your habits, and your time. Don't protect your comfort. Protect your potential. Refuse to live another day repeating the same patterns that keep you ordinary. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be progressing. Your future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Every day you stay the same, you lose a piece of it. Every day you grow, you take it back.
Number 4, refuse to keep pretending that staying comfortable is success. There comes a point in life when comfort stops feeling like peace and starts feeling like a trap. It's quiet, familiar, and safe, but it's also the reason most people never move forward. You can convince yourself that comfort is happiness, but deep down you know it's not. Comfort might feel good today, but it costs you tomorrow. Too many people call it success when what they've really done is settle. They build a life that looks fine from the outside, but feels empty on the inside. They confuse stability with growth, and they mistake routine for progress. That's not success. That's comfort wearing a mask. Success isn't supposed to make you comfortable. It's supposed to make you better. It's supposed to stretch you, test you, and challenge you in ways that force you to rise. But somewhere along the way, people started chasing comfort instead of purpose. They wanted things easy. They wanted results without struggle. And when they reached a level that felt good enough, they stopped. They stopped learning. They stopped pushing. They stopped becoming. That's when the decline begins. Not when you fail, but when you stop trying. You see, comfort doesn't announce itself as danger. It feels nice, like you've made it. You sleep a little longer. You avoid difficult conversations. You lower your goals to match your current energy. You start calling the bare minimum balance. And before you know it, years pass, and you've built a life that's calm but meaningless. The danger is that you start believing it's success just because it doesn't hurt anymore. But growth will always hurt more than comfort. And comfort will always destroy potential faster than failure ever could. Real success requires honesty. It demands that you look at your life and ask, am I growing or just coasting? Comfort can fool you because it doesn't look like failure. It looks like stability. But stability without growth is decay in slow motion. You stop taking risks because you don't want to lose what you have. But in protecting it, you lose your hunger, your fire, and your curiosity. The moment you stop reaching is the moment you start shrinking. Some people spend their entire lives protecting what they've already built instead of building what they're capable of. They think they're being responsible, but really they're being fearful. They've confused safety with success. There's nothing wrong with enjoying what you have, but when it becomes the reason you stop growing, it stops being a blessing and starts being a barrier. Comfort should be a rest stop, not a destination. You pause there to recover, not to live there forever. Think about the people who inspire you the most. They didn't stay where they were comfortable. They faced moments where quitting would have been easier. They chose uncertainty over ease, challenge over repetition, and growth over security. That's what separates the achievers from the average. It's not talent or luck. It's the refusal to stay still when the world keeps moving. Comfort has a quiet way of making you forget your potential. It makes you believe that where you are is all there is. It tells you to be grateful and stop asking for more. But being grateful doesn't mean you stop growing. You can be thankful and still hungry. You can appreciate today while building for tomorrow.
Gratitude and ambition can live together, but comfort tries to convince you they can't. It says if you want more, you're ungrateful. That's a lie. Wanting to grow doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you respect the gift of your potential. Success is not found in ease. It's found in persistence. It's found in waking up when no one tells you to. It's in the long nights, the hard choices, and the days when you don't feel like doing it but do it anyway. That's what builds pride, discipline, and real achievement. The people who stay comfortable might look relaxed, but they're quietly haunted by the thought of what they could have been. Because deep down, everyone knows when they've stopped trying. If you ever find yourself saying, "I'm fine," too often, that's a warning sign. Fine means you've stopped aiming higher. Fine means you're living below your potential but pretending you're okay with it. Fine is the enemy of growth. It's the quiet comfort that keeps millions of people from ever discovering what they're capable of. Life doesn't reward fine. It rewards effort, risk, and the courage to step outside what's familiar. You can't call it success if you haven't been tested lately. If your life feels too easy, it's probably too small for you. Real growth requires a certain amount of discomfort. It's supposed to challenge your patience, stretch your focus, and force you to manage your emotions. That's how strength is built. Without that, you might look successful, but inside you'll know you're stuck. It's easy to stay in a job that pays well, but drains your passion. It's easy to keep relationships that feel safe, but don't help you grow. It's easy to avoid new challenges, because failure scares you. But easy choices create a hard life, and hard choices create a meaningful one. You have to stop pretending that staying in your comfort zone is smart. It's not smart. It's settling. The real danger isn't failing. It's becoming numb to your own potential. When you settle into comfort, you stop hearing that quiet inner voice that pushes you to grow. At first, it whispers, reminding you that you're capable of more. But the longer you ignore it, the quieter it becomes. One day you'll wake up and realize it's gone. That's when you know comfort has won. It doesn't take your life away in one blow. It does it slowly, by convincing you to stop chasing meaning. Every day you choose comfort. You trade a piece of your future for it. You trade ambition for convenience. You trade growth for predictability. You trade fulfillment for familiarity. That's not a fair deal. If you keep trading your potential for peace, you'll end up with neither. Because real peace doesn't come from avoiding challenge. It comes from knowing you've faced it and grown through it. You don't have to destroy your comfort zone overnight. You just have to start questioning it. Ask yourself, when was the last time I did something that scared me? When was the last time I challenged myself to learn something new? When was the last time I felt truly alive doing something difficult? Those moments are where real life happens. Comfort feels safe, but it's lifeless. Growth feels scary, but it's where purpose lives. You'll never discover who you are while you're trying to stay comfort. You learn who you are when you're stretched, when you're tested, when you're unsure but keep going anyway. That's where self-respect grows, because nothing builds pride like overcoming what once scared you. Comfort gives you ease, but growth gives you identity. You can't have both at the same time. You have to choose. So refuse to keep pretending that staying comfortable is success. Stop calling it balance when it's really avoidance. Stop calling it peace when it's really fear. Start challenging yourself again. Take the risk. Learn the skill. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Say yes to something that forces you to grow. That's where the real success lives. There will be moments when you miss the safety of comfort. That's normal. But remind yourself that nothing changes in comfort. Comfort never gave you confidence. Comfort never made you stronger. Every meaningful moment in your life came from discomfort, from doing something new, difficult, or uncertain. That's what success is made of. You deserve more than a life that just feels okay. You deserve a life that feels alive. You deserve a life that challenges you, stretches you, and leaves you proud of the person you're becoming. That doesn't come from comfort. It comes from courage. So don't let comfort trick you into believing you've arrived. You haven't. You're just getting started. The moment you refuse to keep pretending that staying comfortable is success, your real journey begins. And once you taste what true growth feels like, you'll never settle for comfort again.
Number 5. Wake up to the truth that repeating old days kills new dreams. Every morning, Most people wake up and live the same day they lived yesterday. The same thoughts, the same actions, the same excuses, the same routines. They call it normal. They call it stability. But it's really repetition disguised as living. And every time you repeat the same day, you bury another dream that was waiting for you to do something different. Life doesn't move forward when you do the same things over and over. It only looks like it does because the calendar changes. But your life doesn't. You can't expect new dreams to grow in the soil of old habits. The truth is, your life only changes when your days change. The smallest choices shape the biggest results. The reason so many people feel stuck isn't because they lack potential. It's because they keep living in patterns that no longer serve them. They wake up with yesterday's mindset and expect tomorrow's results. That's impossible. You can't create a new life using the same thinking that built your old one. Repetition feels safe because it's familiar. It doesn't challenge you, it doesn't scare you, and it doesn't demand effort. But that's exactly why it's dangerous. It tricks you into believing that you're fine when deep down you're not growing. And when you don't grow, your dreams start to fade, quietly. You stop imagining new possibilities because your mind is too busy replaying old memories. Every dream has an expiration date if you don't act on it. It doesn't die all at once. It dies slowly through neglect. Every time you say, "I'll start later," the dream weakens a little more. Every time you wake up and live the same day, you trade potential for repetition. The dream you once felt so strongly becomes distant. And one day, you wake up wondering where it went. The answer is simple. You repeated too many old days. You weren't born to relive yesterday. You were born to create what's next. That's the difference between living and existing. Existing means you're breathing, but not changing. Living means you wake up every day asking, how can I grow today? What can I improve? What can I create? When you live with that mindset, your days stop blending together. Each day has purpose. Each day matters. Think about how many times you've promised yourself things would be different. You said you'd eat better, start that project, take that chance, work harder, save more, or dream bigger. But then the next morning came, and you went right back to your old way. Not because you didn't want to change, but because you didn't decide to break the pattern. Every pattern fights for survival. If you don't interrupt it intentionally, it will continue automatically. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens by awareness. You have to notice how many of your days are copies of each other. You have to ask yourself tough questions. Why am I doing the same things that didn't work yesterday? Why am I giving energy to habits that drain me? Why do I keep saying I want change while living like I don't? Those questions are uncomfortable, but they're necessary. Because until you face them, your dreams will remain dreams. Repetition feels easy, but it carries a quiet cost. It robs you of time. It steals your energy. It makes you forget what it feels like to be excited about your life. You start accepting things you once promised you'd never tolerate. You stop chasing goals that once made your heart race. That's not peace. That's surrender. And every day you surrender, your dreams slip further out of reach. Breaking repetition doesn't mean destroying your whole life overnight. It means changing something today that your future self will thank you for. Maybe it's how you spend your first hour in the morning. Maybe it's who you listen to. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself. Maybe it's what you allow into your mind. You don't have to rebuild your entire world. You just have to stop repeating the parts that keep you stuck. One of the greatest lies people believe is that someday will change everything. They say one day I'll start, or when I feel ready I'll try. But someday never comes. Because someday is built on the same repetition that's already holding you back. If you want to wake up to new dreams, you have to break the rhythm of your old days. That means doing something today that scares you, stretches you, or challenges you. Comfort never built a dream. Consistency did. You can't keep expecting motivation to show up first. Motivation is built from movement. When you do something different, your brain wakes up. You feel alive again because you're not living the same story. That spark you're chasing, the one that makes life feel exciting, comes from change, not from routine. The more you change your actions,
the more alive you feel. Think about a dream you once had that still lingers in your mind. Maybe it's starting your own business, improving your health, or creating a better life for your family. Whatever it is, ask yourself this: what am I doing differently today that moves me toward it? If the answer is nothing, then you're not chasing your dream. You're just admiring it from a distance. Repeating old days will never bring it closer. Dreams need effort, not intention. People say they're waiting for the right time, but the truth is, time doesn't wait. Every repeated day is a day borrowed from your future. You think you're being patient, but you're really being passive. Life rewards action, not waiting. The longer you stay in the loop of sameness, the more disconnected you become from what you're capable of. Breaking old patterns takes courage. It means you'll face fear, doubt, and resistance. You'll question yourself. You'll feel lost for a while. But that's what growth feels like. It's uncomfortable, but it's real. You have to decide whether you'd rather feel the discomfort of change or the regret of staying the same. One hurts now, the other hurts forever. Some people keep reliving their past because it's predictable. They'd rather stay in a familiar struggle than risk an unfamiliar breakthrough. But you can't build a better future while being loyal to your past. Yesterday's lessons were meant to guide you, not define you. Every morning is a clean slate, but only if you treat it like one. Start noticing the details of your day. Notice where you waste time, where you complain, where you procrastinate. Notice how much energy you give to things that don't move you forward. Then start replacing them one by one. Turn wasted minutes into meaningful moments. Replace complaints with gratitude. Replace hesitation with action. Replace routine with purpose. That's how you build momentum. If you repeat old days, your dreams slowly die from neglect. But if you live intentionally, your dreams grow from commitment. The difference between both kinds of people isn't luck, it's awareness. One sleeps through life, thinking tomorrow will fix everything. The other wakes up and realizes that today is the only day that matters. You have to wake up to the truth that repeating old days kills new dreams. Not because life is cruel, but because it's fair. Life gives back exactly what you give it. If you give it repetition, it gives you repetition. If you give it effort, it gives you growth. You can't escape that rule. So wake up differently tomorrow. Don't grab your phone first thing. Don't complain about the same things. Don't carry yesterday's attitude into a new day. Take one new action, even if it's small. Read something new. Reach out to someone positive. Learn something uncomfortable. Or make one decision that future you will be proud of. Those are the seeds of new dreams. You have more control than you think. Your days are your life in small pieces. And if each piece looks the same, your life will too. But the moment you choose to make one piece different, everything begins to shift. The old days start losing power, and the new dreams start coming alive. That's the truth most people never wake up to. But you still can.
Number 6. Break the routine that's turning your life into a loop. Most people don't realize how much of their life is lived on repeat. They wake up, follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, and expect life to somehow change. But nothing changes in a loop. When every day feels the same, you're not living, you're running in circles. A loop feels safe because it's predictable, but predictability without purpose kills growth. The truth is, if you don't break the routine that's turning your life into a loop, you'll end up existing instead of living. Routines aren't the enemy. They can help you stay disciplined and focused. But when a routine stops serving your growth and starts keeping you stuck, it becomes a trap. You might not even notice it at first. You tell yourself it's just how life is. You wake up, go through the motions, and convince yourself that you're being productive because you're busy. But being busy and being fulfilled are two very different things. You can spend your whole life busy and still feel like you're going nowhere. That's what happens when your routine loses meaning. Think about how many of your days look almost identical. You wake up to the same alarm, scroll through the same apps, talk to the same people about the same problems, and end your day thinking, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow comes, and nothing changes. It's the same loop again. Only now you're a little more tired, a little more frustrated, a little more numb. That's the silent danger of repetition. It wears down your drive one day at a time until you don't even remember what passion felt like. Breaking the loop begins with awareness. You have to look at your life and ask, when did I stop living with intention? Somewhere along the way, you stopped making decisions and started running on autopilot. Maybe it was when you got comfortable with your job. Maybe it was after a disappointment that made you afraid to try again. Maybe it was when you told yourself, this is enough, even though deep down you knew it wasn't. You didn't mean to stop growing. You just got used to not trying. The danger of a loop is that it doesn't feel painful. It feels familiar. Familiarity gives you the illusion of peace, but it's really quiet decay. Every time you repeat the same unfulfilling day, you're losing energy that could have built something better. You're losing time that could have been spent exploring, learning, connecting, creating. Life doesn't demand perfection. It demands participation. And you can't participate in life fully if you're half awake, following the same pattern just because it's easier. You don't break a loop by waiting for motivation. Motivation doesn't show up while you're stuck in comfort. It appears when you do something new. The smallest disruption can wake your mind up. Try taking a different route to work. Read a book on a topic you know nothing about. Start a project that scares you. Spend a day without your phone. Call someone you haven't spoken to in years. These aren't just activities, they're pattern breakers. They remind your brain that life is bigger than your routine. Some people stay in their loop because they think it's responsible. They say things like, I can't change right now, or it's just not the right time. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. Change never arrives with a guarantee. It always comes with uncertainty. That's why most people never do it. They want security and growth at the same time, but the two rarely exist together. If you want to grow, you have to risk stepping into the unknown. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you did something that made you feel alive? Not entertained, not distracted, alive. When was the last time you woke up excited, curious, and driven? If you can't remember, it's because your loop has numbed that part of you. You've replaced passion with predictability. You've mistaken consistency for progress. You've learned how to survive, but forgotten how to live. Breaking the routine doesn't mean destroying your whole life. It means injecting awareness into your actions. Instead of waking up and scrolling on your phone, start your day with something that feeds your mind. Instead of rushing through your work like it's punishment, remind yourself why you started. Instead of spending your evenings escaping reality, use that time to build a better one. Small shifts create massive changes over time, but only if you commit to them daily. There's a quiet fear that comes with breaking your loop. The fear of losing what's familiar. But the truth is, the longer you stay in it, the more of yourself you lose anyway. The routine might feel comfortable, but it's stealing your time, your creativity, and your potential. You can't find new opportunities while doing the same things every day. Growth demands that you make a choice to step out of the loop and face the discomfort that comes with change. Sometimes people wait for a crisis to break their loop. They wait for life to shake them away. But why wait until pain forces you to change? Why not choose to change before you're pushed? Growth doesn't always come from trauma. It can come from decision. You can wake up one day and say, enough. I'm done repeating days that don't move me forward. That decision alone can shift the direction of your entire life. One of the hardest truths to face is that routine can make you feel safe while secretly destroying your drive. It lulls you into believing that tomorrow will somehow be different, even though you're doing nothing different today. Every time you choose routine over growth, you train yourself to accept less from life. You stop asking questions. You stop setting goals. You stop dreaming. The loop doesn't just trap your time. It traps your imagination. Look at the areas of your life that feel stale. Your job, your health, your relationships, your mindset. Which of them have become loops? Be honest. Then ask yourself what one small action could break it. Maybe it's learning a new skill, changing your schedule, finding new friends, or setting boundaries with people who drain your energy. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be different. Because every time you do something new, you prove to yourself that you're not stuck. You're in control. When you start breaking your routine, you'll feel resistance. Your mind will try to pull you back into comfort. It'll tell you, this isn't working, or you don't need to change. But that voice isn't truth. It's fear. You've trained your brain to equate familiarity with safety. So when you disrupt that, it panics. That's normal.
Keep going anyway. Because the resistance you feel isn't a sign that you're failing. It's proof that you're evolving. You owe it to yourself to live a life that excites you, not one that repeats itself endlessly. You weren't born to survive inside a loop. You were meant to create, grow, and contribute. The greatest tragedy isn't dying. It's dying before you ever really lived. And that's exactly what happens when you spend your days on autopilot. So today, take an honest look at your life. Ask yourself if you're living it or just maintaining it. Ask if you're doing what matters or just doing what's easy. And if you find yourself caught in a loop, make a decision to break it. Not someday, today, because life isn't waiting for you to wake up. It's moving on. The only question is whether you'll keep spinning in circles or finally step out and start living for real.
Number 7. Risk growing or risk waking up to nothing new again. Every person comes to a point where they have to choose between staying safe and stepping forward, between protecting what they know and discovering what they could become. That's the point where growth begins. Growth is never comfortable, and comfort never leads to growth. If you're not willing to risk growing, you're risking something far worse, waking up one more day to a life that hasn't changed. And if you keep waking up to the same day over and over, eventually, you stop expecting anything new at all. Most people say they want a better life, but what they really want is a better life that costs them nothing. They want results without risk, change without discomfort, and success without sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. You can't reach higher ground while holding on to safety. You can't create a new version of yourself while clinging to the old one. Growth asks for courage, and courage always feels uncertain. If you need guarantees before you act, you'll never experience what growth feels like. The truth is, every dream comes with a price. The price is fear, effort, and discomfort. You have to give up something to get something better. That might mean letting go of old habits, toxic people, or limiting beliefs that once made you feel secure. It might mean risking embarrassment, failure, or rejection. But that's the cost of a meaningful life. The people who grow aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who decide that staying still is a bigger risk than moving forward. Think about it. Every time you avoid growth, you protect your current life at the expense of your future one. You protect your comfort, but you lose your curiosity. You protect your pride, but you lose your potential. You protect your safety, but you lose your story. And when you wake up every morning knowing exactly what's going to happen, you stop feeling alive. You start existing on repeat. Days pass, weeks blur, years vanish, and the only thing that changes is the calendar on your wall. Growth doesn't always mean chasing big goals. Sometimes it's simply choosing not to live as a repeat of yesterday. It means trying something new, thinking differently, or showing up stronger than before. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about movement. As long as you're learning, trying, failing, and getting back up, you're growing. But if you avoid the risk of growth, life slowly becomes a routine of sameness. And sameness is the death of passion. You can tell when you've stopped growing. You start to feel bored, even if nothing's wrong. You lose energy, even when you've done nothing physical. You feel restless, like something inside you wants more, but doesn't know how to ask for it. That's your spirit reminding you that you were meant for more than repetition. The longer you ignore it, the quieter it becomes, until one day you stop hearing it altogether. That's how people lose themselves. Not in one big moment, but through small daily choices to stay safe. There's a false sense of security in staying where you are. You tell yourself that as long as nothing changes, nothing bad can happen. But what you forget is that nothing good can happen either. Life moves forward whether you do or not. The opportunities that pass by never come back the same way. And if you keep waiting for the perfect moment to grow, you'll miss every real one. There's no such thing as the right time. Only the time you decide to make right. Growth doesn't mean you have to take huge leaps. It's about making choices that stretch you just enough to build new strength. Start small, but start. Speak up when you usually stay quiet. Say no when you usually say yes, just to please others. Try something that makes you nervous. Apply for something you think you're not ready for. Each small risk builds a muscle that prepares you for the bigger ones. You don't grow by thinking about change. You grow by practicing it. Most people fear growth
because they confuse uncertainty with danger. But uncertainty is just unfamiliarity. The first time you do anything new, it feels uncomfortable because your brain wants pattern. But every time you push through that discomfort, you teach yourself that uncertainty isn't fatal. It's a doorway. Growth hides behind that doorway, waiting for the few who are brave enough to open it. You might lose things when you grow. You might lose comfort, people who don't understand you, or a version of yourself that no longer fits your new direction. But what you gain will always be greater. You gain self-respect. You gain confidence. You gain the satisfaction of knowing that you didn't just survive another day. You evolved in it. That's the kind of success no one can give you, and no one can take away. When you refuse to grow, you choose a life of quiet regret. You'll look back one day and realize that fear cost you more than failure ever could. Failure teaches, fear freezes, and every time you let fear make your decisions, you strengthen it. But every time you take a risk, you weaken it. Fear is not meant to control your life. It's meant to signal where your next level of growth is waiting. Growth will never come wrapped in comfort. It comes wrapped in challenge. It tests your patience, your discipline, your belief in yourself. It shows you who you are when things aren't easy. That's where real strength is built. Not in comfort, but in effort. When you risk growing, you don't just change your circumstances. You change your character. And character is what sustains you long after motivation fades. If you keep waking up and nothing feels new, it's because you've stopped creating new experiences. You've chosen the illusion of control over the reality of possibility. You've chosen comfort over progress. And that's why so many people live long lives that feel short. They spend decades repeating what they already know. Growth, on the other hand, stretches time. When you grow, every day feels fuller, because you're discovering more of yourself and more of life. It's easy to convince yourself that you'll start later when you have more money, more confidence, more clarity. But later is an illusion. Growth doesn't wait for resources. It creates them. When you move, new doors open. When you stay still, doors close quietly. You don't need everything figured out before you take a step. You just need to take the step and trust that the rest will follow. You will fail sometimes. You will get it wrong. You will doubt yourself. But that's part of the process. Failure isn't the opposite of growth. It's evidence of it. Every mistake carries a lesson that can't be learned by playing safe. You can recover from every fall, but you can't recover from never trying. Regret is a heavier burden than failure will ever be. Look at your life right now. Be honest. How long has it been since you felt truly excited about what's ahead? How long since you did something that made you proud of your own courage? If the answer is too long, then it's time to move. Growth doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act. Risk growing, even if it scares you, because the alternative is waking up every day, knowing you've stopped living a long time ago. So today, make a choice. Choose progress over comfort. Choose risk over regret. Choose to do something, however small, that moves your life forward. Because if you don't risk growing, you risk repeating the same empty mornings, the same tired thoughts, the same unfulfilled potential. Growth is never guaranteed, but stagnation is. And if you're not growing, you're slowly disappearing into sameness. Risk growing, risk becoming more, risk building a life that excites you again. Because the only thing worse than failure is waking up every morning to nothing new, knowing deep down you had the chance to change, but never took it.
Number 8. Don't protect your comfort zone while your purpose fades away. Every person is born with a purpose. Something deep inside that gives meaning to their days and direction to their life. But over time, many people trade that purpose for comfort. They stop chasing what lights them up and start protecting what feels safe. They build walls around their comfort zone, thinking they're protecting peace, when in reality, they're protecting their own limitations. The sad truth is, the more you protect your comfort, the faster your purpose fades. Comfort doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about keeping you still. There's a moment in everyone's life when they start to feel the pull between comfort and calling. You can feel it when you wake up and know you're meant for more, but you convince yourself you're fine where you are. You can feel it when your heart wants to take a risk, but your mind says, what if it doesn't work? That's the quiet battle between purpose and comfort. One wants to expand you. The other wants to contain you, and whichever one you feed, comfort feels safe, because it asks nothing from you. It doesn't challenge your fears, it doesn't demand discipline, and it doesn't require courage. But purpose asks for everything. Your focus, your effort, your vulnerability, your faith. That's why most people choose comfort. It's easier to stay where you are than to step into the unknown. But the cost of comfort is invisible at first. It starts with small compromises. You say not today once, then again, and before you know it, you've spent years keeping yourself safe instead of fulfilled. Your purpose fades quietly. It doesn't disappear overnight. It fades through every missed chance, every ignored idea, every moment you silence your instincts because you're afraid of discomfort. You start lowering your standards to match your fear, instead of raising your courage to match your dreams. And while you keep convincing yourself that you're being practical, your purpose is quietly slipping away. The world doesn't reward safety, it rewards contribution. Your purpose is the way you contribute, the way you use your strengths to make something better. But you can't contribute fully when you're hiding inside your comfort zone. You can't grow new skills, create new experiences, or discover new parts of yourself when you're doing the same things every day. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. If you want to live with purpose, you have to walk through the fear of change. It's not that comfort is evil. You need moments of rest. You need balance. But when rest becomes routine and routine becomes avoidance, you start losing the edge that keeps your life meaningful. You start mistaking comfort for happiness. But they're not the same. Happiness comes from progress, from knowing you're becoming better, from using what you've been given. Comfort, when left unchecked, numbs that feeling. It tells you you're fine when you're not. It gives you relief without reward. Look at the people who inspire you, the ones who built something meaningful. None of them lived in their comfort zone. They failed, struggled, and started over. They faced rejection, uncertainty, and fear, but they kept moving. They understood something most people forget. Comfort may protect you from pain, but it also protects you from purpose. And if you protect yourself from purpose long enough, life starts to lose its flavor. You don't need a massive event to wake up. You just need honesty. Ask yourself, what am I protecting that's no longer helping me grow? What am I afraid to lose that's already costing me my purpose? Maybe it's a job that pays the bills but drains your soul. Maybe it's a relationship that feels safe but keeps you small. Maybe it's a habit that keeps you busy but not fulfilled. Whatever it is, it's not worth the price of your purpose. Comfort zones grow tighter the longer you stay in them. What once felt cozy starts to feel suffocating. You feel trapped by your own choices, but you keep pretending everything's fine. You smile, you go through the motions, but deep down you know something's missing. That emptiness you feel isn't depression. It's your purpose trying to get your attention. It's your potential asking why you stopped listening. You don't have to abandon everything to live with purpose. You just have to stop protecting what no longer serves you. Take small, deliberate steps out of your comfort zone. Start by doing something that scares you a little but excites you a lot. Speak your mind where you used to stay quiet. Say yes to something uncertain. Do something today that challenges your confidence. That's how purpose grows. Not through massive leaps, but through consistent courage. Fear will always whisper reasons to stay comfortable. It will tell you you're not ready, that you might fail, that people will judge you. But fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to test how much your purpose matters to you. If your comfort matters more, you'll stop. If your purpose matters more, you'll keep going. The difference between those who live with meaning and those who don't is simple. They choose purpose over protection. The danger of protecting your comfort zone is that it keeps you from realizing how much you're capable of. It convinces you to play small, to think small, and to dream small. It says don't stand out, don't take risks, don't make people uncomfortable. But your purpose isn't here to please people. It's here to move you and impact others. And that will never happen if you're constantly guarding your comfort instead of growing your strength. Ask yourself if the comfort you're protecting is worth the life you're losing. Is it worth your excitement, your ambition, your creativity? Is it worth waking up one day and realizing you settled for less than you could have become?
Because that's the trade most people make. They give up their fire for familiarity. They give up their dreams for the illusion of security. But there is no real security in stagnation. The world moves on, with or without you. You are not meant to spend your life protecting what you already have. You are meant to expand what you've been given. You are meant to evolve, to create, to lead, to inspire. Purpose isn't found in safety. It's found in motion. The more you move, the more you learn. The more you learn, the clearer your purpose becomes. But if you stay still too long, that purpose fades until it's just a distant memory of who you used to be. The truth is, no one remembers the person who played it safe. People remember the ones who stepped out, who tried, who risked, who cared enough to fail and keep going. Those are the people who live with purpose. Those are the ones who make an impact. You don't have to be perfect to matter. You just have to be willing to trade comfort for contribution. So stop protecting your comfort zone. Stop defending your fears as if they're your friends. Start protecting your purpose instead. Protect your passion, your drive, your values. They're fragile when ignored, but powerful when nurtured. Every time you act with purpose, you take back a piece of yourself. Every time you choose growth over safety, you honor your potential. You'll never feel completely ready. That's okay. Purpose isn't built on readiness. It's built on faith. Faith in your ability to handle what's ahead. Faith that discomfort won't destroy you. It will shape you. Faith that living with meaning is worth every ounce of uncertainty. Because it is. You can live a comfortable life and feel empty. Or you can live a purposeful life and feel alive. The choice is always you. Don't protect your comfort zone while your purpose fades away. Protect your purpose and let your comfort zone fade instead.
Number 9. Face the mirror and admit you're built for more than this. There comes a moment when you have to stop pretending you're okay with average. When you have to look yourself in the mirror and tell the truth. You're built for more than this. Deep down, you already know it. You feel it when you wake up tired of repeating days that don't excite you. You feel it when you see others grow and a voice inside whispers, you could do that too. You feel it when you're alone at night, thinking about everything you could have been if you had just stopped holding back. That voice isn't guilt, it's truth. It's the part of you that refuses to settle. Too many people go through life ignoring that voice. They distract themselves so they don't have to hear it. They fill their days with noise, obligations, and excuses. But no matter how much they try to bury it, it always comes back. Because your potential doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It waits. It watches. It asks every single day, when will you stop pretending this is enough? Facing the mirror is hard because it's honest. You can't lie to your own reflection. It shows you everything, your effort, your choices, your patterns. It doesn't care about your reasons or excuses. It only reflects the truth of what you've done and what you haven't. And most people don't like what they see. Not because they're failures, but because they know they could be more. That awareness hurts. But that pain isn't punishment. It's a signal. It's life reminding you that you still have more to give. You weren't built to just survive the week. You weren't built to go through the motions and call that living. You were built with skills, ideas, energy, and strength that means something. But somewhere along the way, you stopped using them. You started choosing comfort over challenge, routine over risk, and familiarity over fulfillment. You stopped fighting for your future because you got too used to your present. That's how dreams die. Not through failure, but through slow acceptance of good enough. You know what's worse than failing. Knowing you never tried. Knowing you had the potential but chose to ignore it. Because it was easier to fit in than to stand out. Every time you lower your standards, you quiet the voice inside that knows you're capable of greatness. You start convincing yourself that you're fine where you are. But the truth is, you're not fine. You're stuck, and the only way out is honesty. When you face the mirror, you're not supposed to judge yourself. You're supposed to remind yourself. Remind yourself of the fire you once had. Remind yourself of the goals you've been avoiding. Remind yourself that you've overcome harder things before. That reflection is not your enemy. It's your accountability. It's there to remind you of your strength and your responsibility to use it. You have to stop making peace with mediocrity. Stop calling it balance when it's really fear.
Stop settling for comfort when you're capable of creation. The life you're living right now might be stable, but stability isn't the goal. Growth is. Stability without purpose feels empty. You can have everything that looks good on the outside and still feel like something's missing. That's because your soul doesn't crave safety. It craves expansion. Every person gets a few moments in life when reality hits. When you realize that the only person standing between who you are and who you want to be is you. Not your past. Not your family. Not luck. And once you understand that, you can no longer hide behind excuses. You have to decide whether you'll keep lying to yourself or start building the version of you that your potential deserves. The mirror doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for effort. It asks for truth. It asks for a decision. Are you going to keep waiting for the right time? Or are you going to create it? Are you going to keep saying one day? Or will you turn today into day one? Life doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards courage. The person who wins isn't the one who never fears. It's the one who faces the fear and moves anyway. Maybe you've been told to stay realistic. Maybe you've been around people who gave up on their dreams and tried to make you do the same. But remember this, you can't expect people who stopped believing in themselves to believe in you. That's not their job. It's yours. Your vision was given to you, not them. You don't need approval to grow. You just need to stop asking for permission to live the life you know you're capable of. Facing the mirror means taking ownership. It means admitting where you've been lazy, where you've been scared, and where you've been inconsistent. It's not about guilt. It's about awareness. Because you can't fix what you won't face. Once you face it, you regain control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming a creator of your reality. That's when growth begins. You have to stop waiting for motivation. Motivation doesn't come before action. Action creates motivation. You won't wake up one day suddenly ready. You'll wake up tired, afraid, uncertain, and you'll still have to move. Because when you start, something changes inside you. The fear doesn't go away, but your strength gets louder than your doubt. That's how progress feels. It's not always exciting, but it's always worth it. There's a different kind of peace that comes from knowing you gave your best. It's not the peace of comfort. It's the peace of effort. When you face the mirror after giving everything you've got, you don't see regret. You see pride. You see growth. You see evidence that you didn't waste your potential. That's the kind of reflection that builds confidence. Confidence isn't built by talking about what you could do, it's built by proving it to yourself daily. Every time you walk past a mirror, it's a reminder. You can keep seeing the same version of yourself, or you can start building a new one. Every choice you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Every day is a chance to design a reflection you respect. Don't let another day pass where you avoid your own truth. You've already survived things that once scared you. You've already overcome challenges that once felt impossible. That means you already have proof that you're stronger than you think. You don't need to wait for the perfect plan. You just need to start acting like the person you're meant to become. The mirror will catch up. It's not arrogance to admit you're built for more. It's responsibility. It's accepting that playing small doesn't serve anyone. You can't inspire others by hiding your strength. You can't change the world by dimming your light. The world doesn't need another person pretending to be average. It needs people who are bold enough to become everything they can be. So face the mirror and be honest. You're not tired, you're under challenge. You're not lost. You're avoiding your direction. You're not unlucky. You're uncommitted. And that can all change the moment you decide to stop lying to yourself. The moment you admit you're built for more, your life starts shifting. The decisions you make, the people you attract, and the way you see yourself. Everything begins to rise. You owe it to yourself to become who you were meant to be. Not because it's easy, but because living small is harder. Living below your potential eats at your peak. Every time you ignore your greatness, a part of you fades. But every time you rise, that fire comes back. You remember what you're capable of. You remember why you started. So stop pretending. Stop settling. Look yourself in the mirror and tell the truth. You're built for more than this. And then prove it. Not through words, not through talk, but through consistent action. Because the only reflection that matters is the one you create through courage, discipline, and belief. That's the version of you the world needs to see. That's the version of you were always meant to become.
Number 10. Take responsibility for your own growth before regret does it for you. There comes a time when you have to stop waiting for someone else to fix your life. You have to stop blaming your past, your parents, your boss, or your circumstances. You have to look in the mirror and realize that your growth is your job, not anyone else's. Nobody's coming to do the work for you. Nobody's going to hand you discipline, confidence, or peace. Those things are built, not given. The longer you wait for someone to save you, the more power you give away. The truth is simple. If you don't take responsibility for your own growth, regret will do it for you. And regret never teaches gently. You can tell who's taking responsibility for their growth and who's not. The ones who are growing ask questions, learn, and stay humble. They don't wait for things to be easy. They move even when it's hard. The ones who aren't growing complain, blame, and repeat. They tell stories about why they can't, instead of finding reasons why they must. The difference isn't intelligence or opportunity, it's accountability. Growth begins the moment you stop pointing fingers and start taking ownership. There's something empowering about realizing that your life is in your hand. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. You can control your habits, your mindset, your effort, your attitude. Those 4 things shape your life more than luck ever could. Every day, you're either investing in your growth or investing in your excuses. You can't do both. The results you see today are the outcome of choices you made yesterday. And the results you'll see tomorrow depend on the choices you make today. People love to talk about change, but few take responsibility for it. They say, I want to be healthier, while continuing the same habits that make them tired. They say, I want more success, while wasting hours on distractions. They say, I want happiness, while clinging to negativity and blame. Growth doesn't respond to words. It responds to actions. You can't grow from intention alone. You grow by doing what's uncomfortable, by staying consistent, and by owning the results of your decisions. The harsh truth is that nobody cares about your excuse. The world rewards effort, not explanation. You can spend years explaining why you didn't, or you can spend those years doing it. The clock doesn't stop for your fear, your pain, or your doubt. Time keeps moving, and one day you'll realize that waiting cost you more than trying ever could. Regret is what happens when you finally understand what you could have done, but no longer can. It's a quiet ache that never leaves. The only way to avoid that ache is to take responsibility now. Responsibility means admitting that you're in control of your effort and your reaction, even when you're not in control of the outcome. It means showing up every day for your own improvement. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start where you are. Read something that stretches your thinking. Spend time with people who challenge you. Stop doing things that drain your focus. Learn to manage your emotions instead of letting them manage you. Growth is built from these daily acts of ownership. One of the hardest parts of taking responsibility is facing the truth about your patterns. You can't grow if you keep defending behaviors that hold you back. You can't keep blaming life for problems that your habits create. Most people want growth without accountability, but the two are inseparable. If you want to rise higher, you have to be honest about what's keeping you low. It might be laziness, procrastination, fear of judgment, or the need to please everyone. Whatever it is, name it and deal with it. Because what you don't confront, you repeat. You're not too late, and you're not too broken. But you do have to stop wasting time pretending that tomorrow will fix everything. Tomorrow will look just like today, unless you change today. Growth doesn't care how old you are, where you're from, or what you've lost. It only responds to effort. The moment you decide to take ownership, your life starts shifting. Not because everything suddenly gets easier, but because you start getting strong. Every area of your life that feels stuck is waiting for responsibility. If your finances are a mess, take responsibility for learning how to manage money. If your body is tired, take responsibility for your health. If your relationships feel shallow, take responsibility for communicating better. If your mindset is negative, take responsibility for what you feed your mind. Nobody else can do these things for you. People can inspire you, but they can't live for you.
Growth isn't glamorous. It's messy, repetitive, and often lonely. There will be days when you don't feel like trying. There will be times when progress feels invisible. But that's when responsibility matters most. When no one is watching, when the praise isn't there, and when it would be easier to quit. Those moments define your future. Because growth isn't built on motivation. It's built on consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. Stop blaming the environment. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop expecting life to get easier before you start trying harder. The truth is, growth requires discomfort. You'll have to outgrow your excuses, let go of old habits, and face your own weaknesses. It's not punishment, it's progress. The pain of growth is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. You can either feel discomfort now or disappointment later. One day you'll look back and see one of two things: proof of effort or a list of excuses. You'll either feel proud of who you became or wish you'd started sooner. And that decision is being made right now in your daily choice. You can't go back and rewrite your past, but you can take responsibility for writing the next chapter. The pen has always been in your hand. You just have to stop waiting for someone else to write your story. If you want a better life, build it. If you want more peace, protect it. If you want growth, earn it. Nobody is coming to give you permission. Life rewards those who take ownership. Every step you take builds trust with yourself. Every decision to act instead of avoid strengthens your self-respect. And once you trust yourself, everything changes. Confidence isn't built by luck. It's built by evidence. When you keep your promises to yourself, you stop doubting your ability to grow. Regret doesn't come all at once. It builds quietly. It builds every time you ignore your potential. Every time you waste your time. Every time you postpone what matters. It builds until one day you realize you've spent more years avoiding responsibility than embracing it. And that's a pain no one can fix for you. But the good news is you can stop it right now. You can take back control today. You can start making decisions that your future self will thank you for. Taking responsibility isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about caring enough about your life to steer it in the right direction. It's about saying, this is my journey, and I refuse to waste it. You can't control the past, but you can control the person you become next. You can't undo old mistakes, but you can grow beyond them. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about choosing progress, even when no one applauds you for it. The people who live fulfilled lives aren't the luckiest. They're the most accountable. They fall, learn, and adjust. They don't wait for change. They create it. They understand that ownership is the foundation of freedom. You can't feel free in a life you refuse to take responsibility for. Freedom comes when you stop blaming and start building. So take responsibility for your growth before regret forces you to. Choose discipline over delay, honesty over denial, and action over excuse. Because one day time will ask you what you did with your potential. And in that moment, you won't be able to lie. You'll either smile because you owned it, or ache because you avoided it. Take responsibility now. Grow. Build the life you know you're capable of, before regret reminds you what you lost by waiting. If you've made it this far, you already know what this message was really about. It's not about fear. It's not about luck. It's about choice. Every day you're either growing or staying the same. And staying the same might feel safe, but it's quietly stealing everything you could be. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to stop standing still. Start with one step, one decision, one change that makes tomorrow different from today. Because the moment you start growing, life starts opening new doors for you. Doors that comfort will never let you see. So before you scroll away, take a second and think about what part of your life has been waiting for you to wake up. Write it down. Commit to it. Start today. And if this message hits something inside you, don't let it fade. Come back. Listen again. Grow again. Because this isn't just a video. It's a reminder that your greatest risk has always been staying the same.